Howdy everyone, welcome to this week's review of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Woo! Okay, let's get into it. So the episode starts off as a precursor to the trip, right? So let's kind of review the first half of the episode. Candiace, I already talked about it with my last week's review. Candiace was dead ass wrong for talking about Mia's mother, right? And what makes it even worse is Mia's mother, right? And her history and their relationship, right? I feel like if Mia, well, you know what? Even if Mia had a healthy relationship with her mother and her mother was this wholesome mom and there was no issues at all, it still would be greatly inappropriate, right? But people do make your mama jokes. I mean, it's very immature, and Candiace is going on into her 30s, or she's well into her 30s. So for her to make your mama jokes, it is really, really immature. But I feel like maybe as an audience member, and I think even for Mia, she could have dusted off if she had a healthy relationship with her mom. But what makes it even worse is that she doesn't. And her mom struggled with addiction, right? So it adds another layer, and it just feels like a personal attack. Now, does Candiace have a right to be upset with Mia? 100%. 100% Mia was being extra, right? Now, I'm not gonna lie, like I said, Mia was being good television and she was asking the questions that we all wanted to know, right? So, as an audience member, I'm not mad at Mia for what she did, right? But I can 110% understand why Candiace would feel some sort of way. Even though I already said if Candiace were to be mad at anybody, she should be mad at her mama, right? Because her mama was the one going around volunteering information to the whole damn cast, right? So she should really have beef with her mama. But I do understand that Candiace was busy shooting her music video. She didn't see all that went down, right? So she's just going off of what her mama is saying, right? And if her mama's going to play coy and innocent, then Candiace is none the wiser. But I hope when Candiace sees this whole thing playing out, she's gonna give her mama the side eye more than she would give Mia. But knowing Candiace, knowing how these ladies are, knowing how Mia has been going back and forth with Candiace on Twitter, the both of them really going back and forth, I feel like there is no sort of apologetic energy from both sides. So I'm not holding my breath from that. I just think it's a great rule of thumb. Don't talk about someone's parents, period. And don't talk about people's children, period. That's it, right? Mia wasn't disrespecting your mom. She wasn't. She was being messy towards you, right? But can you blame Mia? Your music video was kind of, I don't want to say it was low budget, right? But I saw the music video in its entirety, and I wouldn't say it was a high budget video. I wouldn't even say it was a medium budget video. But I'm not rude like that, so I'm not going to say it was low budget. I'm not going to do that. But the song was cute. The song is a cute song, and that's what matters, is the song. And Candiace did look cute in the music video. But it's not like, I don't know. I get why you would be mad, but for you to talk about her mama, Candiace, you were dead ass wrong for that. 1000%. And you should not even be trying to justify that, right? And even her saying that Mia's projecting, and maybe she is, right? But I feel like, Candiace, you project as well. I feel like if you were confident in your music video and if you in what you had going on, you'd be like, girl, please, I have a music video. Okay, I have my debut album coming out. What do you care? And all of that jazz. So we're gonna see how that plays out. Judging by the previews, it does not get any better between the both of them. Mia and her son was so cute, him crying like, I don't want you to go. Are you gonna go for 1,000 years? Oh my god, that was so adorable. And there was another scene with Ashley and Robin, and Ashley's little baby is so cute. It's so small and so cute. Oh my god, so adorable. Speaking about that, Robin and Giselle, they don't want to go to Wendy's thing. And I feel like I get it why they don't want to go, and I do feel like, yes, Wendy overreacted a bit. I do feel that as an audience member, but I can't tell Wendy how to feel. If you are talking about her husband, right, and you're talking about perhaps him having an affair, like, understandably, she's going to feel some type of way. And given the history of the relationship and the relationship between him and his family and them kind of being estranged because he decided to marry Wendy, right? I can understand that there maybe is a lot of emotions and things tied up with that, right? And I can understand there may be this pressure to present this not perfect relationship, but I feel like Wendy is very image conscious, right? She wants to present a certain way, and especially if you had haters and naysayers, you don't want to give them any fodder, right? You don't want to give them any points to say, oh well, I knew he was gonna cheat on her because she's not good enough, and all that sort of bull crap kind of talk, right? So I can understand her feeling a type of way, even though I still feel like it was in the blogs. Unfortunately, with these blogs, they can report false tea, but it blows up and everybody's talking about it. And as if I was a producer of the show, I would want it brought onto the show. It was a major storyline. Like, I would, like, if anything, if I was Wendy's producer, I would be like, okay, we're going to address this because this was a major thing that people were talking about, and people kind of want to know more about your family and why his parents doesn't like your family, and we want to have a little bit more detail. Of course, be respectful of his family, but we want to know the tea, right? We want to know the tea. So I feel like it would have been brought on anyways, and Giselle is just the producer's pet at this point, right? I'm pretty sure if the producers want something to be brought onto the show, they're gonna go to Giselle because Giselle doesn't care and she'll do shit like that, right? But even the way that Giselle handled it, she handled it with kid gloves, I feel, right? Because even immediately after she said it, she quantified that by saying, I do not think it's true. I do not think it's true. I do not think it's true. So yes, okay, she was being messy, but I don't feel like she was trying to spin this narrative, right? I think she was just bringing it up because she had to. That's just my personal opinion on that matter. But like I said, I can understand why Wendy got mad. And Robin is just guilty with association. She just is. They're Ashley, Robin, and Giselle. They talk, like, you guys all talked about this. So I'm sorry, you guys are guilty by association. It is what it is. So Wendy was in her feelings, and when she was inviting everybody to the trip, Wendy was being shady, right? She was like, you can bring your man, you can bring your man, you can bring your man, and you two can bring your luggage, because you ain't got no man. Like, it was very much that kind of energy. So I can understand if you feel like the group is kind of sort of gonna dog you out because you ain't got a man. And I feel like they're not dogging Giselle out because she doesn't have a man, or I don't even think they're dogging Robin out because she doesn't have a man. I think it's because, particularly with Giselle, she's so opinionated about everybody else's relationship and what everybody else has going on, but she doesn't talk about her mess, right? And so when you see her, going through a hard time or going through a breakup, I can understand why the other ladies sort of relish in it, right? They sort of take pleasure in twisting the knife of, you ain't got a man, ha ha ha, I got a man. It's like something they can hold over her. But she brings that energy upon herself. And I think she knows that. That's why she doesn't really react too much, because I think in the back of her mind, she knows that, okay, I'm really messy. It's part of my job to be messy. So it's understandable that the other ladies are going to come for me, right? I like that Giselle doesn't play too much of a victim. She has a pretty good poker face, right? So I get it. She doesn't want to show up to the thing. I wish she would, right? I think with them having the husbands there, we will have enough going on. But I'm not going to lie. Like, I would definitely miss Giselle's presence there. And Robin, I can take it or leave it, but I still would like to have Robin there because I think she would make, interesting... Boop-a-doop-doop. Hush phone. I think she would make interesting observations in her confessionals, right? Because she's usually the voice of reason with anything not really related to Giselle. So it's kind of... I wish they would have just... I wish they would have just been the bigger person in the situation, because technically you guys did start it. So you have to understand why she's upset, and maybe this trip could have been a moment for you guys to hash things out, right? But I feel like with the husbands and everything, we already have enough people at the trip, so it's like, okay, we'll see how this works out, right? I am so disappointed. For those few of you that watch me, or listen to me, to be exact, I like Candiace, right? And even in this episode, I loved Candiace's top. I loved Candiace's style. She looks so cute. I really want to like Candiace. I really want to root for her, right? Last season, what happened to her, I feel like was wrong. But this episode, if Mia reached over and slapped in the face, I'm sorry. I would not defend Candiace. I would be rolling my eyes if she got that stupid little napkin and folded up into a triangle and dabbed the corner of her eye. Like, no, I don't know. Like, I knew Candiace was like, she could be a little bit of a firecracker, right? But this episode, she was just so mean, right? And Mia called it right. She's mean. It's like, I don't... Okay, do I understand Candiace feeling some sort of way because Mia called her music video low budget? Well, I'm sorry, Candiace, your video was low budget. I didn't want to say it before because I didn't want to be rude, right? But the way she was acting, I don't feel any type of way. The music video was low budget. You were supposed to have all these cars and all this crap, and they didn't show up. And you were scrambling to get the last of that music video together. And I watched the whole music video from beginning to end. It was cheap. Now, I still say the song was cute. I'm going to give her that. The song was cute, and that's what's important. I'm not going to judge somebody for their first music video not being a premiere production. But your music video was low budget. Okay, like, you're getting mad because someone called the sky blue, pretty much, at the end of the day. I could totally understand you feeling some type of way, right? But I hope Candiace is watching that episode back and she's seeing what went down and she feels a little bit stupid, right? Yes, Mia was being messy, but your mother, your mama, right? You want to talk about Mia's mom being low budget? What is your mom? Now, I'm not going to call her low budget. I'm not going to go that far, right? But if Mia's mom was low budget, what was your mama being? Going around talking crap about your husband to everybody on that cast. Even Karen had to turn away and be like, no, I don't want to hear it. Miss Dorothy, she couldn't help herself, right? She took pleasure in degrading you and your husband, right? And I guess if your mama goes around talking about you like that, treating you like that and your husband like that, it kind of makes sense why you go around treating people like that and talking about people like that, right? I can understand you feeling away. Do not get me wrong. But you just kept nagging Mia, egging her on. Mia kept ignoring you from the moment you walked in, right? Okay, Mia called your shit low budget. You got her back by saying your mama is low budget. Mia, right? Because if it was anybody else, a lot of people would have reached over and slapped you in the damn face. Okay? And I took up for you. I was rooting for you, okay? Play that Tyra gif. We were all rooting for you. I was, right? When everybody was down on her last season, right? I was like, no. Candiace, yes, Candiace is a bit extra, but she didn't deserve that. And I stand by that. She didn't deserve what she got from Monique. But if she got that from Mia, I'm sorry, she deserved it. And I remember watching that trailer, and Mia was throwing salad at Candiace, and I was looking at Mia funny. I was like, you know what? I don't know about this new lady. I didn't like how last season got violent, and this season I don't want to see it go down that lane again, right? Because I find it very destructive and disruptive to the show and the cast chemistry. It's just too heavy. We can take a season like that once every maybe 3-4 years, but I don't want this back to back it getting gutter, right? Because this is Housewives, okay? So when Mia was throwing that salad, I was like, nah, I'm not really feeling Mia from that clip, right? But now that I've seen everything play out, and now that I've seen that actually Candiace was the first one to fling food at her, right? I mean, I don't really need to apologize to Mia because it's not that serious, but I will admit I was wrong. I was straight up wrong about that situation, right? And Candiace deserved more than that lettuce being flung in her face because Mia ignored her so many times, right? She was just going in on her from the beginning. And Ascala, oh my gosh, like Ascala, shut the hell up, right? Like, why are you, like, Candiace doesn't need your help, right? Candiace is doing perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, she's doing a little too much. She wants to talk about G. This is the thing, right? When you see the preview for the next episode, you think G is going to be the extra one in this episode, right? You think G is going to be doing the most. Yet Candiace manages to do a whole lot more than what G was doing. So while she's sitting up there talking about G being drunk and XYZ and doing too much, she needs to look in the mirror because she is doing much more than what G is doing, right? And the scholar has to jump in. And it's like when Mia says something back, right? And even when Mia said these broke bitches, right? When Mia said that, I don't blame Mia for saying that because she literally sat there and had Candiace call her a hoe, had Candiace called her husband a pimp. Candiace just insults her up and down, and she wants to say Mia's projecting, Mia's this, Mia's that. Now, is Mia a fibber, right? Yes. Right, I'm not gonna call her a liar, but if you want to call her a liar, fine. I'm not gonna defend that, right? Does Mia put on airs and try to appear bougie and, is a bit extra? Yes. Does she remind me of Karen in that way? Yes. But she doesn't deserve all that. Like, why is Candiace so triggered by Mia, right? And it's very clear that Candiace has issues in her relationship and she has issues with her mother. And you could tell, like, she's very sensitive with that, and Mia touched on that, and she wasn't able to let that go. And instead of being an adult, okay, and talking about it maturely, like, I'm very protective over my husband. And my mom, we don't get along and we have history. A matter of fact, I think they could have bonded over that, over their mommy issues, really, if they were to have an adult conversation, right? I'm not saying Candiace shouldn't be upset, but the way she handled it was like a spoiled brat. Even when Mia was complimenting Dorothy, which, to be honest, Dorothy did not deserve that damn compliment, right? Saying, I like your mom. We connected. I actually want to be like her when I get older. And then Candiace has to be petty and be like, well, she didn't come from no strip club. Like, she was doing too much, right? And it just rubbed me the wrong way, and I felt really bad for Mia because I felt like they were all sort of ganging up on her. And it's like Wendy kind of was like half-heartedly trying to stick up for her, but then I understand why she wasn't trying to do too much, because her and Mia aren't that cool, right? They just were starting to build a bond, and she is the host of the trip, so she does feel that obligation to make sure that her guests are feeling comfortable. But at the same time, Candiace is her friend, right? So she doesn't want to be going against her, but it was just a little too much. And then not only did she have to take it from Candiace, she kind of had to take it from G as well. Now, on the surface, she didn't seem to be bothered by G, but low-key I feel like she is, right? Because, like I said, Mia likes to put on airs, right? G was just doing entirely too much. I mean, you're being filmed at the end of the day, right? If you get a little too drunk and you're hanging out with your friends privately and you may act a little wackadoodle, as long as it's not a repeated thing, then fine. And I even agree with Candiace when she compared Mia to Ashley and Michael to G, right? Like, they both, once they get liquor in them, I don't know if it's an old man thing where they can't hold their liquor, they get a little bit freaky, they get a little bit crazy. I definitely think they would be good friends. And another similarity with Michael and G, potentially, I found it a little weird where he was humping the air and calling out Eddie's name and stroking this phallic air thing, okay, and calling Eddie's name and looking at him is like, are you trying to flirt with him? Are you trying to send him some sort of coded message that you think is coded and that no one else can read, but you're being completely obvious? It was just really weird. And honestly, now that I think about it, I could totally see that being something that Michael Darby would do. So I definitely think they could have fun together, and you know what, that's a great thing because it would be consensual. So that's amazing, right? Eddie, I mean, you need to watch your back. You need to make sure he's not creeping up on you in the middle of the night, okay, when he had a little too much to drink. I just found that a little bit strange, right? But okay, fine. Since this is the first time we're getting introduced to G, I'm not really gonna give him a pass, but I'm not gonna read. No, I am. I'm sorry. I'm going to read into it. And then we see the preview for next week's episode where he's like flirting with Ashley and Karen. Like, he's just doing entirely too much. And I'm not saying it would be okay if it wasn't being filmed, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you're being filmed. Like, stop embarrassing your wife. Like, if you can't hold your liquor, and I think at this point it was more than liquor because he had 2 shots, right? And unless he kind of drank, and I mean, he drove, so I hope he wasn't drinking and driving or was high and driving. Like, I would hope not. Maybe he took some shots in the car before they got out so he could loosen up. Like, I can understand it could be nerve-wracking, 1, being on camera, and 2, being introduced to a group you don't know very well. So maybe you drank a little bit more than you should have, right? I'll give you that much. But still, bro, dude, keep it together. You're 68 years old. Like, you are a grown man, right? Like, you should know what your limit is at the end of the day. So, like, I felt bad for Mia on that end. But Mia handled it relatively well, or as well as she could. Like, if she was bothered, she didn't let any of the people know that she was bothered, which I think is good strategy, right? Because I think if she would have freaked out and be like, oh my gosh, gee, what are you doing? You're embarrassing me, it would have made the situation worse. So I liked how she brushed it off, and hopefully she had a conversation with him in private, like, you can't do that. Now, definitely watching the show back, I'm pretty sure G is doing a face palm, right? He has his head buried in his hands, like, oh my god, what did I do? Like, I hope he's having that moment and he won't have that moment again, right? But I do like, despite G being a little weird, right, the guys were able to kind of laugh and not take it too seriously. And yeah, maybe they were secretly judging him in their head, right? But they were still able to have a good time, right? It seemed like they were at least enjoying their each other's company. It seemed like Chris and G were actually bonding, ironically, where Mia and Candiace were kind of going at it. Mostly Candiace going at Mia. So, and it's just like, I don't know, I just find like Candiace was just so judgmental, right? And it's like, you have none of these ladies, I'm gonna be honest, none of these ladies have room to really talk about each other's husbands, right? Because if you're gonna talk about each other's husbands, you all need to look in the mirror first. But of course they all do that, but nobody has room, right? So it's just, this episode, I mean, it was a good episode, right? I definitely like that the husbands came on the trip. It just adds another layer, right? And it breaks up the monotonous kind of like, okay, we have our individual scenes, we have a group dinner, we have our individual scenes, we have a group dinner, we have our individual scenes, we have a group dinner. It's nice to see all the husbands interacting, and I love to see the camaraderie amongst the husbands, right? And the drama amongst the ladies, right? I guess. But I just felt like this was just a little too far for me. And it just F's up the dynamic. And Candiace, at the end of the day, Candiace needs to take accountability for her words, right? There is a way. No one's saying that you can't react. No one's saying that you can't be upset. No one's even saying that you can't read. But there is a certain boundary, right? Because if anybody in that cast talked to Candiace in the same way that Candiace was talking to Mia that episode and really going in on her and really reading her, right? Mia doesn't really know her like that. And I don't think Mia is that great of a reader. Let's be real. She's not. Right? But if someone knew how to read and they knew Candiace and they really dug into Candiace and read her top to bottom, trust me, there's lots of material. I did like Candiace. I'm not feeling her. But even as someone that did like her, there's lots of material there, okay? There is lots of material to read her on. And if someone had that same energy for her, she would be breaking down, crying. She wouldn't know how to handle it, right? Candiace, like, grow up. You make shady comments about everybody all the fucking time. One time someone says something about you, you break down and you can't handle it and you go ballistic. It's entirely too much. And if I see Candiace crying into a damn tissue, folding up the tissue into a little triangle and dotting the corner, if I see that shit next episode, I'm done with Candiace. I'm done. I understand how people feel now with her and rolling the eyes when she starts crying. And I'm sorry, but it seems like from the preview we are going to get just that, right? Because her and Ashley, of course, get into it again, right? And it seems like Candiace is going to go too far again, because we have Chris saying, okay, calm down. You need to stop. Calm down. And she's like, no. She is a spoiled brat. Like, oh my gosh, Candiace, why? Be a little bit mature. Your husband is trying to help you out here. Like, you look stupid, right? And then you can't turn around and cry and play victim. Oh, people are being hard on me. People are being so hard on me. Well, maybe if you weren't so hard on other people, people wouldn't be hard on you. Fine, maybe they still would be hard on you, but you deserve it a little bit. Come on, like, take accountability. I hope she takes accountability for her actions in a genuine way, right? And like, I don't even think Wendy was trying to bring up Mia's mom situation, but honestly, I mean, obviously it's gonna get back to Mia. I mean, it's gonna get back to Candiace, but I wouldn't even bring it up to Candiace, because instead of Candiace learning this information, right, about Mia's mom and the struggle she had with her, right, instead of learning that information and having compassion for Mia, what she's gonna do is to use that against Mia. Just like when Mia said, I met my husband in the strip club, or I used to be a stripper. Every 5 seconds, every chance that Candiace got, she threw that shit back in her face, right? So I have no doubt in my mind that if you told Candiace that Mia's mom was addicted to drugs, she would find every excuse in the book to throw that back into Mia's face. And with people like that, you got to be careful what you tell them and opening up to them, because they'll use that against you, right? You know, Wendy, let's give kudos to Wendy, right? Wendy had her beef with Mia, right? I felt in that situation Wendy was doing too much, but Wendy's classy and I like Wendy, right? She's able to get over things and move on. She may give you a moment, but she doesn't drag things on. And when she learned that about Mia, she didn't take that opportunity to make a dig like Candiace would have. She showed real compassion for Mia. So I'm really happy that they are getting to a better place. So clap, clap, right? And one more thing I want to point out, right? This is the hypocrisy here. This is the hypocrisy with Candiace as well. So G tells Mia to shut the F up, right? Now, unpopular, I mean, he was wrong, but it wasn't like a harsh shut the fuck up. But I mean, I don't know what a light shut is either, right? I wouldn't want my partner telling me to do that, or speaking to me in that way. But I understand that maybe other people have different dynamics. But I don't know. I'm not really feeling G. I'm gonna be real with you, so I'm not really gonna brush that off. But what is hypocritical about Candiace? She wants to judge G about saying that, right? But then Candiace go and fix her mouth to say, oh yeah, me and Chris talk to each other like that all the time, but in private. We don't speak to each other like that in mixed company. You know, we don't talk to each other like that in public, in mixed company. We say it in private. You know, we call each other bitch, and we call each other her and mother. You know, we degrade each other in private, right? We talk derogatory to each other in private. We just don't do it in public. Of course, why would we do that? That's totally inappropriate. Like, I don't know with you guys, but to me, yes, okay, talking to your spouse in that way in public is embarrassing, but I don't think it's any better talking to your spouse like that in private. A matter of fact, in private is probably a lot worse, right? And I see a little bit of Chris's and Candiace's dynamic. They probably say a lot of worse things in private. So I don't think it's any better, right? So if you know that that's how you talk to your partner and how your partner talks to you, how dare you fix your mouth to judge another woman in that situation, right? Especially when she's not the one that said shut the F up to her husband. Her husband said shut the F up to her. If anything, you should be having compassion for me and be like, oh, you know, that's not right. He shouldn't talk to you like that, right? Are you okay? Like, you should have empathy, but instead you're using that to judge her and look down on her, right? And to be snooty while you, behind closed doors, are doing the same damn thing. Like, I'm over Candiace. I really am. I'm really freaking disappointed with her. It was disgusting how she acted this episode. Disgusting. So, I hope she redeems herself next episode because I do like her. I do. I mean, not now, but I did. But judging by the previews, I'm not gonna like Candiace anymore, and I'm not gonna like G anymore. Anyways, guys, that's everything. Bye.